up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Big shout out to all of the recent donors to the campaign. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, and thank you again. Big shout out to Shiro, my queen. Big shout out to you. Shout out random. Shout out to Daniel Brunson, everybody. If you're out there somewhere, Daniel, make contact with me, man. It's been a minute. And I'm worried because it's been a while. Shout out to Anjane. I think I miscommunicated the other night. Anjane, I didn't know if I was supposed to call you, if you was calling me. And then I just decided you probably got tired anyways after you got in from work. So, anyways, inshallah, we'll get a chance to speak. Well, I guess hopefully before the week starts, you know. You guys are probably going to hear bombs going off in the background. Like, it don't have to be 4th of July. Ever since I moved here, there's fireworks every damn night. So this just exacerbates it, really. Like, I'm over it. Shout out to Sci-Fi also. If you're listening, KR Watkins, Akibala and Violet, my angel, my brother Kai. These are just off the top of my head, y'all. So, and in fact, I didn't even know I was going to do shout outs. But I had to do this because this is the perfect topic at this moment, because I didn't really want to do a live stream today. I wanted to, but I'm really too lazy and tired, y'all, and I just didn't feel like trying to get camera ready. I'd rather just be able to walk around the earth right now looking like a savage and nobody has to know. But most of all, they don't have to witness it. Because I wanted to do, I still haven't done my piece that I wanted to do and address the BET Awards. So, and then there was something else that I was going to do, and then this doesn't have to be that either. So this is just easier, and it's also pertinent and important to bring this right now in this hour. Terry Crews is somebody that I've not really had any firm feelings about. He's been sort of in my peripheral, you know. You know, I know who he is, and okay, and you know, but he's not really. He's been sort of always in my mind somebody that I don't really check for or feel connected to, because, like I say, once you enter into a relationship with one of these devils, I really don't feel our connection as brothers anymore. Or there's no hope for it to even be there to start even. So he's just been other to me, you know. No ill feelings so much. Like, I don't feel any way ill about him. At least I hadn't. It's just, he's just kind of, like I say, he's just kind of just off to the side. You know, I don't feel one way or the other. Until now. Because Terry Crews represents the quintessential example to bring that demonstrates what I say and also what Malcolm said back in his day when he talked about interracial relationships. He was saying that no Negro who was in an interracial relationship with a white person can ever lead anything on behalf of African people and be a part of that, because they will always be forwarding a point of view that allows them to continue to feel comfortable in that interracial relationship. And Terry Crews is the quintessence of that right now. I've linked for you, there's a link underneath the video, everybody, of what finally prompted me to go ahead and do this piece, because well, let me say this first. All right, there's a link there. And Roland Martin was interviewing him. This is a couple days ago. I want you to watch that, because I'm hoping that you will be able to see what it is that I saw when I watched that interview. That it gave me a deeper insight into who he is and where he's at. You know, after his dust up with the producer or the agent or whatever it was, that the little soiree that they were at, and the gay dude grabbed his dick, you know, there was that big dust up, and you know, whatever. And so I saw interviews that he did subsequently after that event. And again, it wasn't anything that really impacted me. I didn't really, you know, it just kind of, again, I just was left in the neutral space. Like, okay, that's who he is, and I'm over it, and it's just whatever, you know. But this has this has gotten my attention and has given me now a firm feeling about him and how I categorize him in my life, and you know, for me, in the context of our people. For me, I saw his true colors, so to speak, because when you see that interview that Roland No Neck Martin does with him, what I saw, and I hope you will see, is I saw a man who is lost. He's flailing around, he's reaching at straws. It was very clear to me also that there's no intellectual depth there. He really is just a talking head. He doesn't really know where to go or what to feel. But he thinks he's convicted, and he thinks that he is landing on the right side of this thing. He believes that. I believe he believes that. But it's clear to me that his beliefs have been given to him. Stay with me. His beliefs have been given to him, and he doesn't even know it. But that he has set himself up to be influenced by the atmospherics that he's created for himself. What do you mean by all this rambling, Jedi? Well, Terry Crews has a white bitch. And again, he becomes the quintessential example, because he really is that. You can tell that everything that he's saying is from that point of view. In fact, the insurrection that is up for discussion right now is this tweet. And in his tweet he says, quote, "If you are a child of God, you are my brother and sister. I have family of every race, creed, and ideology. We must ensure that Black Lives Matter doesn't morph into hashtag Black Lives Better. Well, this is very revealing. He added, well, that was the end of the quote. All right. Now, there had been a previous quote from him that I was unawares that had, so this is like a follow-up really, this recent insurrective act. But apparently there had been another time last month when he made statements saying, what's the quote? And you're just like, why is this dude, why does he just shut up? But I know why he's not shutting up. Because he is being haunted. You'll hear him say in this interview with Roland, you know, about all the attack he feels under from the black community. That's why he has to act like we have to point out what's going on in the black community so much, and you know, his own people have done him wrong, and you know, of course he's going to speak that way. Because when you do something that's inherently un-African, even if my people can't articulate those words and understand that that's the place from which they're speaking, I'm telling you that's why they're speaking. Even if they're not able to understand for themselves that what they're doing is defending Africanness, that's fine. At least they're landing at the right response. That's what's important. And you hear him keep saying that, you know, I myself, you know, I've had police pull guns on me, and I've done this and I've done that. But again, you can tell he's somebody just reciting and repeating. At one point, he talks about how, you know, he said, you know, and I learned this through a lot of therapy. I'm sure the therapist was white. I mean, we can have the therapy conversation, everybody, but listen, just like I maintain that you cannot find love from someone who does not share your same culture, you understand? Certainly not a white person. It's double with them because the history and the current events are just too toxic. There's no way your heart can feel that. No way. So, just like you can't find love there, you can find friendship, I guess, and, you know, companionship and all that kind of stuff, but, you know, that's a whole different category than love and devotion. You understand? Loyalty and sacrifice, and down the list you can go understanding and oneness, you know, understand. But, just like I maintain that on that, I also maintain that's right up there with, for me, going to a white therapist is the same thing. Because inherently, no one who is not African can understand your thoughts and feelings. What you are exposing yourself to is someone who's just been clinically trained from a white model, a white psychological model, and have decided that this works for all of humanity. That when you articulate this feeling, this means you're actually understanding and feeling this, and that you should be processing this and this and this, and they just go down a list. There's no physiological connection and understanding between you and that therapist who is not an African. And then it gets even double if you're an African male. The only person, the only entity on the earth that can understand African people is other African people. And the only entity qualified to understand and to rehabilitate and to repair the emotional damage to an African man's soul is a black woman. Period. That's just the truth of it. Just like nobody would disagree that your mama would be able to understand you before some teacher at school. I don't care who they are. You understand? So we don't snatch that away just because we need to try and make space for this enemy. Nah. We make space only for the truth. And all feelings be damned. So I'm sure it was a white therapist that he went to. And this therapist told him that the only way, and he's articulating this to Roland as if he's found the Hope Diamond. He goes, you know, one thing I learned through many hours of therapy, a lot of therapy, was the only thing that gets you through is forgiveness. Y'all know how I felt about that. And y'all know I threw up in my mouth when I heard that. And though I have dragged Roland for filth, and I'm sure I will continue to, at least he came back and spoke up what he needed to speak up. He said, well, you know, basically I'm going to paraphrase his words. He was saying, you know, basically what I say to you all the time. First of all, fuck all that forgiveness. That's out. But most importantly, white folks don't ever forgive. And as I've said to you, and as Roland said to him, you know, we're to expect to be the first ones to forgive, and very quickly. And he went on and said, he goes, white folks still mad about 9/11. You understand? I've told you they still not over OJ. And then I brought you a piece, I don't know, a couple years back, when Obama was still in office, actually, where he was going to be the first sitting president to go and visit Hiroshima. And the first thing to roll off the tongues of these devils was, he doesn't need to go there and apologize. You see? Nah, won't apologize to these damn people for a goddamn thing. And we do not forgive. Period. Period. And I've defined for you forgiveness. Forgiveness is only eligible. You're only eligible for forgiveness when you do something that was absolutely unintentional. Wasn't in your heart, didn't mean it, just totally happened by accident. We rush to forgive that. We rush. We're the first ones on the scene to forgive. But you're talking about centuries of deliberate, intentional acts of terror upon our people. We will never forgive. Ever. Ever. Do you understand? Ever. But his previous insurrection was, he says, defeating white supremacy without white people. This is what he said last month. Defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is the truth. Like it or not, we're all in this together. You see? He can never be a lion, because he has been compromised, by this white bitch. You understand? And by his own quote, let me get to his new quote now, when he says he's got everybody of all races and everything in his family. You understand? So he's got all these whispers in his ear that are not African. Because when you are African, you speak from an African point of view. Everything else be damned. Cannot be compromised. Can't be sold. But when you have these other whispers being allowed into your universe, into your orbit, then you speak like Terry Crews. So before we get to the new one, I'll reread this one from last month again. Defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Think about the double fucking negative that is, dude. I don't know if that's even the term to use here, but it's just how nonsensical that is. That's the equivalent of saying, well, if you're ever going to stop racists, or if you're ever going to stop rapists, you have to do it with rapists. Otherwise, you're creating rape victim supremacy. Huh? Stop the video when I lie. I'll say it again. That's the equivalent of saying, if you're ever going to defeat rapists, then you have to do it with rapists. Otherwise, it creates rape victim supremacy. Huh? Did I miss anything? So, I'll read his tweet again. Defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Nah, defeating white fucking people and their bullshit gives us a better fucking life and prevents the stress and strain on our goddamn existence. Do you understand? And we are happier people. And so is the rest of all of humanity. Period. But no. Wait, Jedi, you have to include the white bitch. Okay, damn it, self. Thanks for reminding me. Alright, how do I work her bitch ass into this? Alright, fine. Alright, we can't defeat them unless we have them with us. Yeah. Because if you're going to beat the Vietnamese, everybody, you have to have Vietnamese fighting with you. That's the only way you can win the Vietnam War. It's the only way. If you're going to win World War II, then you have to have the Japanese with you. Forget dropping that atom bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. No. You want to pick some of those people up and let them drop the bomb. That's the only way you'll defeat Japan. Everybody knows it. I'm trying to help you understand the ridiculousness of his statement and make it very clear for you if it hasn't been up till now. So that was his previous insurrection, as it were. Read it one more time, we'll go to the new one. Again, the old one. Defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Wow. Listen, this is something that will only come out of the mind of a white devil, everybody. Because in their mind, and rightly so, that our task should not be just getting them off our ass and destroying them or defeating them. It should be about all annihilation on them and paying them back and doing exactly to them what they've done and are doing to us. That's what they have in their mind. And they're right, because that's the natural inclination. When you've been wronged, you go and wrong the motherfucker that wronged you, period. Do exactly to them what they did to you. Exactly that. You see? But that misreads the tea leaves. Because sadly, ever so sadly, that is not what our people seek. What we seek is them the fuck off our back and stay the hell out of our damn business and our affairs. Leave us the fuck alone. When we build Greenwood, Oklahoma, don't come bomb the shit from the sky and burn it down. Do you understand? Stop sabotaging our shit. But Terry doesn't know any of this, you see. He doesn't know any of this. And then again on that old one, he ends it saying, equality is the truth. Like it or not, we're all in this together. Really? Because that we're all in it together lasted about 5 minutes when this pandemic, alleged pandemic broke out. We see we're not all in it together. You see, but you're in it together, Terry, because you have to lay down with that white bitch. So yeah, you are in it together, I guess. I guess. You see, listen, when you have any of them as friends or as lovers and all this other nonsense and family members, all this bullshit, you end up a Terry Crews. You will never be able to speak authentically from your African heart. Your feelings get short-circuited and misdirected, and this is the vomit that comes out of your mouth. You understand? This is why there can never be any unity, because we have to be able to be and speak freely, completely, and they are too fragile for that. They only want to hear things that make them sound amazing and feel amazing, and that will never happen unless we're just gonna remand ourselves to a state of a Terry Crews. This is how you end up having to live your life. Never ever having true passion or real feelings mature about the things that are happening to you and your people. You always have to you dumb it down and water it over and make it nice and fuck all of that. That's the model they want us all to live in, where we just act like none of this shit is happening every damn day since the 1400s, that you can just flip on a dime. You know, like you're hearing them on TV now saying, you know, we're just living in a different time now. No, bitch, 5 weeks is not a different time. Shit ain't changed. And nothing has changed for African people. So what time are we living in? Just because a few white people get out in the street with backpacks and with some signs, that equals, oh my God? Nah. So let us not be fooled by the language, everybody. And let's never let them dictate the time frames of our feelings or cause us to misrepresent or misinterpret our feelings. That is a very dangerous place. All right? Now, his latest one, where is it? Terry. So I just read you the one from June. Now, this is the one he just did, where he says, where is it? Oh, I read it, right? If you're a child of God, yeah. If you're a child of God, you are my brother and sister. I have family of every race, creed, and ideology. We must ensure hashtag Black Lives Matter doesn't morph into hashtag Black Lives Better. Think about that. Even what he writes there. He starts out saying, if you're a child of God, then you're my brother and sister. Okay. Then he goes right into, I have family of every race, creed, and ideology. Okay. Okay. Then the next thing, we must ensure that Black Lives Matter doesn't become Black Lives Better. So it seems that he just put out other shit up there because what he really wanted to say was those two last hashtags. And he just thought he'd just build something around that. Well, I don't want to just say just that because I'm a punk bitch. You know, I can never be a true African king because of this white bitch that's dragging on my wing. So therefore, I don't have the cojones to just say what's on my mind. No. And Massa has taught me never to express what I feel, but to dress it up in you know, lipstick and shit. So that's why that statement seems to, you know, from one sentence to the next, it's disjointed. Because he's using periods. Quote, if you are a child of God, comma, you are my brother and sister, period. That's a sentence. Next sentence. I have family of every race, creed, and ideology. Period. We must ensure Black Lives Matter doesn't morph into Black Lives Better. Like, that, first of all, that's a leap already. Ain't shit happened. But we've got several more dead bodies, more broken families and funerals. There's been no police reform, no legislation, no reparations, no apology for any. I mean, nothing has happened is what I'm trying. I could sit here and go down the list, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just trying to express to you, nothing has happened, and he's already leaping to, well, this could be black supremacy. First of all, you're wrong, but probably the most important challenge to put to that is, if that were true, how is that a problem? How is that a problem? How is black supremacy a problem? I don't know, maybe I need to buy a vowel. How would that be a problem? How? Because we're not the murdering, sadistic, deceptive, savage devils that these people are. We don't have the inclination to be aggressing on anybody or doing anything to anybody. So how is that a negative? If it were true. But he's already leaped to that because that's what's in the minds of white people. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So it goes back to what I said already in my opener. His words are not his own, and he thinks they are. What black man would say this? What African person? Well, let's just make sure that we don't overstep, fighting oppression upon us. Make sure you just go to a point, because you don't want to go too far. Just only, no. 12 rounds of a boxing match. Make sure you don't knock him out in the first round, even though you could in the first 90 seconds. Mike Tyson, no. Make sure you go the full 12 rounds, just because, I don't know why. It's just something I just pulled out of my ass, but you should just go the 12 rounds. No. Even though you're here to win a fight, and the heavyweight title is on the line, no. You are not allowed to knock him out in the first round, because it'll just look like you're being supreme now. According to Terry Crews. I'm over it. This is the danger and the problem in society, everybody. That's why I said you have to draw sides. Because when you're at war, there is no room for fiddle-faddle. You have to decide which flag you're fighting under. That's just it. And you can't kind of want justice, or kind of want liberation, or kind of want freedom. It's a do or do not proposition. That's it. Either you want the shit or you don't. And when you allow yourself to be infiltrated by the very people that you're fucking fighting against, it's antithetical to your entire effort, any effort you're going to put forth. That's outrageous. It's beyond outrageous, actually. It's I don't know the word right now. It's up there, though. It's all things bad. It's all things bad. It's all things bad. When you get infiltrated by these people, which is their intent, that's why every fucking commercial on TV is goddamn it racial. Matter of fact, this might be a good time to go through some of them, because I've had a bunch of pictures I've been storing up for y'all, and I'm just like, no, this ain't the time, no, this ain't the one, because it requires me to do a lot of work that I wasn't really looking forward to doing. And then if I'm on a live stream, I can't do any of that stuff. It can only be done in a recorded video like this. And now at least I'm able to run some things on my computer, even though I don't have an internet connection. I at least can do some things on the computer, thankfully now. And so, I don't know. I'm threatening it. I may do it. But I go on to make my point to say that that's their agenda, clearly. You see, because then you lose focus of who and what the target is and what it looks like. Who the target is and what it is and what it looks like. Do you understand? Before they send people into these aggressions that they stage across the damn earth, they do intelligence. Well, this is what their oil refineries look like. This is what their weaponry bunkers look like. And this is due south and, you know, so many meters northeast and the bullshit. And they give you all the coordinates. You understand? This is where Saddam's palace is. Here's a picture of Saddam. So they don't ever send soldiers in just thinking, well, you know, we're just at war and it's just we're fighting a system and so we just don't know. No, they tell you this is what their civilians look like, this is what their housing structures look like, this is what their apartments look like, this is what their commercial district looks like, etc., etc., etc. But they're pulling exact fucking opposite on you. You're supposed to say you're fighting the system. How are you going to fight white supremacy with a white bitch standing next to you? How? Educate me on that. How? How do you do that? How? I'll get rid of the roaches in my house. I'll do it. With these herder roaches at my side, I'll do it. Really? That's what you're being presented with. And that's being reinforced by every fucking television show, every commercial, every ad, everything on goddamn TV is inter-goddamn racial. Everything. From the late night, infomercials to laundry detergent to medication to medical conditions to a sock, a diaper, a pencil, you name it. Anything you could imagine that would ever be advertised for. Every single ad on the bitch is fucking white and black. Because they're trying to distract you and take a face off of them. So they suddenly become this hidden enemy. It's the system. The system. It's white supremacy. You know. It's police brutality. They need training. Not there's fucking people that are committing evil ass acts upon other human beings. No. Again, it's this sort of blank canvas, non-descriptive target is the state of mind they're trying to put you in. And he's there. They got him all the way. When you come out and say shit like, what the bullshit he say of, I don't know, so vomitous, I can't remember it now, I just read it. You know, that don't let Black Lives Matter become Black Lives Better. I mean, what is that? I'll tell you what that is. That is a dumbass fool who has been completely seduced away from and had snatched every ounce of his blackness. Every ounce of it. I don't care how dark skinned he is. There's not a black man there. That is not a black man on your screen right there, everybody. It's not. That is, I say again, that is not a black man on your screen. It's not. It's not. And that will become even more evident to you when you watch the interview between him and Roland. And then I want you to also be listening for him when he keeps going back to social media. It becomes very clear, at least it did to me, It became very clear to me very quickly that he bases his entire life off of social media. I wonder if he leaves his house, pandemic or not. Like, do you ever leave your house, dude? You know the internet ain't the fucking world. You do know that, right, Jazz? I don't know if you really... He's insane. And a shell. And thankfully, Roland brought up to him the whole thing about Gabrielle Union and the whole America's Got Talent. You know, but I obviously, you know, a big black man is going to be get a different response than a black woman. But you didn't know that when they was dishing your girl, Gabrielle. I mean, what are you, and then, and just to go a little deeper on that, to keep it all fair and consistent above all, you know, fuck Gabrielle on this, everybody. Because you'll recall, it's very easy to forget, we all ran behind Gabrielle. Let's not forget she was dancing on the grave of Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon was the first martyr. You understand? Because Nick knows how to stand up for what's important and give a damn about what you got to say about it. And let Massa know that to his face. So, let us not forget that Gabrielle was going in there to dance on the grave of Nick Cannon. Because remember, he was too urban for them, and he had made some statements in a show that he was doing separate and apart from America's Got Talent. It had nothing to do with them at all. But word got back to Massa. And they tried to act like they were going to hold his job in front of his face. And Nick was like, fuck you and your job, bitch, and marched out. What? Your job don't mean nothing to me. You can't hire me or fire me. I'm Nick Cannon. I'm me. So, that's what Gabrielle was dancing on. Because in my mind, when one of us has been dissed by anybody, it don't have to be a network. It could be the bitch at the store. At the very least, if you still going to even do business with that store, you don't get that bitch's lane when you go there. Just on the strength of the sister. You understand? So in my mind, there shouldn't have been any African person that would have been available for hire to replace Nick Cannon. You see, we have to put a stop to that as a people. Well, we can just go, well, hell, if Jedi won't do it, we'll just bring in Terry Crews. He'll do it. You see? So we need two things. We need for there not to be a fucking Terry Crews that exists. And then if they do, we need a crew that makes sure they don't get to where they're trying to go. You understand? They just don't quite get out their driveway some kind of way. We don't know what happened. It's a tragic thing. But there she was, marching in there to dance on Nick Cannon's grave. Boom. They dissed her. You ain't hooked up like Nick Cannon is. So, Terry Crews was brought in to dance on your grave, bitch. So, Terry Crews and Gabrielle Union are grave dancers, in my mind. You understand? Grave dancers. They're grave dancers. And, you know, we have to understand, it's kind of like, you know, when we understand that even any of these companies or products that we buy to this day, when we find out they've done anything, we have to be over them. Doesn't matter if it affects you directly or not. You have to be over it. That's part of how you exercise strength in numbers. I told you the story years ago now that I was in Target one day, and this is a super Target, so they have a Starbucks in there. And I went there. I think I was there for the pharmacy. Yeah, it must have been, because why would I have just been lollygagging around? Anyways, either I was waiting for the pharmacy, or I had just gotten my stuff that I was picking up from the pharmacy, or whatever. And there it was on the little thing you drive around on, and the little, you know, handicap thing. And I have my Fenty iced caramel macchiato with extra caramel. And boom, I ran into one of my Muslim brothers. Oh, brother, salam alaikum, alhamdulillah, and we do our thing. And he says, what is this? And I said, oh, this is my Fenty Ice caramel macchiato with extra caramel. I'm going on. It was so delicious. And he goes, brother, they support Israel. Well, that was it. That was it. I don't know how many years that's been now. But I've not had another Starbucks anything since that day. Because they support Israel, which means they are killing Palestinians. I must do my part. They tried to fire Nick Cannon, or at least threatened to try and put him back in his place to scare him. And he told him to go straight to hell. So, Gabrielle, you should have found something else to do. You don't get to work for America's Got Talent. You don't get to. You understand? Because somebody should be able to go there and say, they dissed our brother Nick. Oh, okay. And then you just move on to something else. Like I did with the damn Starbucks macchiato. It moved to something else. That's no longer an option. But that requires group thinking. Jedi, you know people don't have group thinking. Why are you even bringing this up right now? Shh! Shut up! This requires group thinking. What does that mean? That means you can't approach anything with only you in mind. You see? That everything you do in this nation requires you think of that in a group sense. You got to be thinking about all of us, not just your own ass. Your thinking must include all of us. Excuse me. Or you don't get to do whatever it is you're trying to do. You want something you never had, you got to do something you never did, everybody. So that sounds bold. Well, because everything else before it has worked up to now, right? This lack of unity is absolutely killing the game for us, isn't it? Just gotten us everything we wanted and needed, hadn't it? Oh, it hasn't. So again, if you want something you never had, you got to have the cojones to do shit you never did. And one of the many things that we must do is we must, as individuals, remind ourselves we are not individuals. This lift requires all of us. And that means sometimes you're going to have good days and sometimes you're going to have bad days. And sometimes you will be personally frustrated and have personal disappointments or personal setbacks because you are thinking for the entire culture. But you must have faith enough to believe that that is going to pay off. We put in the work, we're going to get the payoff. Damn it. We just are. By the way, I want to randomly put this in here too, just random in case I forget it. There's a show that's on television now called The Black Report. Yeah. Anyways, I've just had it recording on my DVR. And I think there was like 6 episodes. And I sat down to try and start getting through them and watching them. Do you understand that that represents 6 hours of television? It's 4 people on the panel. 2 dudes and 2 chicks. And in not any of the episodes will they say white people? This is the problem. If you can't name it, you can't hit it. If you can't name it, you can't conquer it. If you can't name it, you can't see it. damn. But it was to be expected because it's not on a black network. You understand? So, and this is just an attempt by that network, I'm sure, to just seem like we allow bold content from black people, like you're actually allowed to just speak freely and not have to be thinking, because in their minds, you can say anything as long as it doesn't call their bitch asses to account. That's what it's really about. It doesn't matter where you're at in their society. If you're calling their asses to account and you stop singing that kumbaya bullshit, there's a problem. It's like the music in the room stops. Suddenly you have to pay attention. You understand? So, I'm sure that's what this is about. And they're trying to seize on the climate of the moment, of this, we've moved into a different time and all that nonsense that the Jedi is not buying into at all. They're just trying to seize upon that. But in 6 hours of television, I did not once hear the words white people. And they're talking about exactly their ass, but you won't name it. Any African people, be they on a network, the bitch next door, I don't care who you are, where you are, any African person not speaking the proper language is simply not one of us. Just not. Just not. We don't have time for that. We don't have time for that because you're still leaving a space for oppression of our people, and indeed a doubling down at an hour of their choosing. I know what the time requires. I see the writing on the wall. Now is the time to not draw closer to your fucking enemy, but to use this and say, I'm glad y'all feel this way now. Now back the fuck back. Just be gone. Be gone and leave it alone. For good. Because we're not going down another, centuries old road of more bullshit. You understand? Every other day there's a damn Confederate flag popping up someplace. But we never see a swastika. I'm wondering why. I'm wondering why. You understand? I wonder why that is. If I just knew. Jedi. Because I'll tell you what I'm trying to recreate. I just need to find somebody. I'm trying to recreate. The world needs to see, even though it will be staged, because I was going to get somebody I know that does security, but I need and maybe the point will still be made with that, but I feel like I need a full-on police uniform. Anyways, the point is I'm trying to recreate, get a video of a white bitch on the ground with a big black man's knee on the bitch's neck and have her begging for her life. It'll be staged, but it needs to be seen. You understand? That needs to be seen by all of humanity. Because one thing, sit around and talk about it till you see it and you hear it. Even knowing that it's staged should still reach the mark that I'm trying to hit. You understand? Because that's the problem. That's the problem. That's why you have a Confederate flag still, Confederate flags, and somebody's got to step down every other day because they did something they didn't know was racist, and oh my god, the police just need training, and they will run you into the ground with that shit until their body count starts to first of all occur and then start stacking up. They'll be real clear about what reforms are needed. You see, but they don't have any incentive. We've not given them any incentive or ultimatum, really, of why you're going to find an answer. We've act like punks, and so we get treated like that. It's that simple. It really is that simple. It really is that simple. But, to try and steer us back to Terry, he is a sad human being. You know, it's like you're on 50,000 shows now, Terry. Just take your money and move to the hills with your white bitch, and we just don't need to hear from you anymore. Cause like, what's your motive now? Is you just trying to make yourself feel better? Excuse me, because we don't need you for anything. We don't need you. You don't play any major role. We don't in our community. We don't need you for anything. So why are you here, sir? You know, type thing. And apparently there, by his own words in the interview, apparently there was some dust up with the BET Awards or the some award show. And he was saying, you know, the rumors were that he wasn't invited, and he was dispelling that, so whatever. But just the fact that there had to even be any discussion about whether or not that was true or not should tell you where you're at. Like, we don't really need you for anything, so just go away. Just go away. Are you looking for acceptance now? So you want acceptance and your white bitch. You can't have it all. It's one of the laws of the universe. You don't get to have it all. You don't get to have it all. So just go away with your white bitch and your League of Nations that you've articulated that's in your family, and just be happy. You understand? And we obviously caused you so much pain and hurt that you don't need us, so the feeling's mutual. So just go away. I don't really see where we need you at. I'm just not really finding that. I'm just not really finding it. You understand? So he's a problem, and you need to watch that interview. But the bigger issue is to always look at the bigger picture, everybody. You know, my last video that I did, I know everybody who will do that story. Any other video you're going to watch, unless they watched me and then did a video, but any videos that came before mine on this issue of this little boy being discriminated against at this restaurant while there's a little white devil kid wearing the same shit in the background, everybody else did the typical thing, the small picture stuff. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. But the Jedi came with, no, that's not real. That's an issue. But the bigger issue is that here you have this black mother sitting next to her 9-year-old son on international television with her attorney and proclaiming she's never talked to her son about racism and he has white friends and they've been told they're all the same. That's the story. Oh, unless you're here for numbers and to get clicks and views. I'm sorry. Damn it, Jedi, you just can't get it together. You can't do anything right. That's why we don't take you anywhere. You see? Nah. The big picture. The big picture. And so the big picture in this scenario is that I suggest to you that his tweet, the whole provocation, maybe he was even dictated to by one of his white masters directly, and said, Terry, we need you to say this. Because at one point during the interview, he even says, you know, I'm a black person. I can say things that white people can't say. You're talking to another black man. Why would you say that statement? Like, that would be like you told me my name. I don't need you to tell me my name. I know my name. Why? You'd be like, why are you telling me this? That would be like, what? You know, like, it's kind of like when I brought you the 9/11 documentary that I did. That's here on the channel. That took me 2 weeks to produce. It's one of my finest pieces of work. It's here on the channel. Anyways, there's a part in the alleged events of 9/11 where the people who were on Flight 93 were calling family members, like Todd Beamer called his mom and goes, Mom, it's Todd Beamer. You believe me, don't you, Mom? Like, it's your mother. And you're saying your full government name to her? First of all, as if she wouldn't recognize your voice. And then B, you need to tell your full name and then ask her, does she believe you? It's just like, what? Nah. This is that for me. Why did you say that, Terry? Because that means you've been in discussion someplace. And some crafty white devil who has you by the nuts found a way to slip this into your psyche. You know, it's just what needs to be said, Terry, but, you know, I don't want to say it. I'm a white guy. I can't say it. You know, maybe you could say it. You see? And then you're not sophisticated enough to even come and bring it as if you're making the statement authentically. You literally say to Roland Martin, you know, I'm a black person. I can say things that white people can't say. To me, that's a giveaway. You see? Anomalies are usually the sign of conspiracy, everybody. Well, they always are, but usually in numbers. But sometimes they can be so glaring that you only need one, really. You understand? And one would be enough on this one. You see? So, it's disjointed. It's all over the place. And then he's one of these people that keeps saying, first of all, and no list comes after that. Just hear how out of place when he uses first of all. First of all, so. First of all, so. No, it's not even it's no way that we even use that as a people. And we definitely know we can say first of all. But that's what makes it even more glaring. Like, listen to him, you'd be like, that's not even, like, you really are gone. You are no longer an African person, and we cannot identify you as such. We just can't. But that's very glaring. And I suggest to you, again, it's knowledge converging. You got to know your enemy, your environment, and your condition. I know this enemy. I know that ass like my name. I also know weak-minded, simp-ass niggas when I see them too. You understand? So, in their mind, because remember, anything that is good for us is a threat for them by default in their fucked up minds. You understand? Anything good for us is definitely, it must be bad for them. You want justice? Damn it, all lives matter. No, bitch, you're not able to delineate that we're just saying our house is on fire? But this is their sick thinking. So certainly, in this new time that we're in quotations, everybody, where every day they're turning on TV and it looks like, oh my God, they're going to give the niggers this, and they're going to give them that, and they're going to give, oh my God, they're probably going to want to take over now. Because apparently we weren't inclined to take over the night that they said the Associated Press now projects that Senator Barack Obama will be the next president of this bitch. Like, they don't understand that would have been the moment if we were going to take this bitch, then we would have had this whole plan and be like, yeah, the moment they say he wins, if Obama wins, now we're going to take all this bitch, and now we're going house to house. Well, that's what's in their minds. Go watch Fahrenheit 9/11 and see the little piece that Michael Moore does in there about white people and their guns and their paranoia. I tell you, you don't ever want to be told that you're like these people, everybody. You know? And that's supposed to be a bad thing when you denounce that. Yet, who amongst us, or anyone beholding it, if you denounced a crackhead that was in your family, be like, I'm not related to them. They are not related to us. But they really weren't your family member either. But somebody was trying to make you related to somebody that was a heinous crackhead and, you know, does it all. But that all goes out the window when you talk about them. So remember, everything is in place for common sense and natural behavior until you insert white devil. Then it all changes. You have to go, then you have to get a different rule book, everybody. I don't know if you have to know that. There's a different book you're supposed to get out. There's a whole different manual that goes with it. You see. Nah, there's no prestige in reciting like a trained parrot that we're all the same. And what this thing on your screen says in his tweet, whether we like it or not, we're all in it together. Really, Terry? So why didn't you just let dude grab on your Johnson then when he was groping you? Why was that a problem? Because gay people should have been in the street the next day saying, well, Terry, whether you like it or not, we're all in it together. His own quote, we're all in it together, whether we like it or not. So dude should have just been able to have his way with you then. Terry. Why are you objecting to another man grabbing your crotch? We're all in together. I don't know why you don't understand this. So he was sent out to be the black person saying this. To be the warner, and he even says that at one point. He doesn't say he was sent out. He tries to dress it up like he sees something that we all can't see. You know, he's one of the prophets that we haven't read about in the Quran or the Injil or the Torah, apparently. But there he is, Terry Crews prophet, and he apparently is now casting himself as if he's prophesying. And I'm like, okay, so where's your political science degree at that you must have to even be making statements like this, even just on an intellectual level? Like, just, you would at least want to give some requisite, you know. No, nothing. And then also by proxy casting himself as a prophet, as if he sees something that just we're not seeing. No, you're reciting what is being said in your white circles, Terry. That's why every time you're in the presence of white people, you grin bigger than your mouth is even made to grin. Sherry Shepherd. Could name some other ones. Listen, if I see more than your first, like, 4 front teeth, I'm pretty good. You feel me? Just, if I'm seeing like down the side row, it's a problem. That means you're doing way too much grinning. Way too much. You see? And so, he's always grinning in the presence of white people and flexing those damn pecs, which I'm so over it. Most men can do that. I can do it. I'm not even being funny. I can do that. There's nothing mysterious about what he does with his pecs, everybody. There just is. I would even venture to say there's probably some women that can do it. They just hadn't figured out they can do it. You understand? There's nothing to it. But it's his thing. And they expect him to do that. So he's like a performing pony every time he's anywhere. You know? And quite honestly, it's just to go in on him a little bit, you know, the whole dust up about the dude grabbing his penis at the little function, I'm kind of thinking you got to where you at anyway, Terry, by satisfying some white man. So that's just, I mean, that's the testimony I'm giving right here. So, I mean, I don't want to get into, you know, just, so I'm not really understanding why you were so put off by that. Like, just not really, so, and stuff. And everything. So, this is a problem. So, I wanted to bring this because I want you to identify black people like this, everybody, who are hugged up in these interracial ass relationships in an hour of war that has never ended for our people since these people encountered us in our environment. You understand? We have to understand that it's psychotic, no matter what they tell you. Don't give them love. Don't give me this love seasonal color, and you supposed to just love everybody, and we're all the same. All the shit. If you go through all these little colloquialisms, you begin to understand all that shit protects them from you being on their ass. That they absolutely have motive for selling ridiculous psychological bullshit like that. You understand? To try and tap down your natural inclination of what you should be doing and should have done a long time ago. While telling you there's change, they know the war has never ended. I'm over it. But that's why they're rolling people like him out. You gotta go pray. You know what? I can just stop. You guys won't be affected. I'll just put a break here and it'll just be nothing for you. You won't even know it. Alright, I gotta go pray. Okay, I'm back, everybody. And these damn bombs bursting in air has just gotten worse. You know. This is one of the dumbest holidays ever, but it's also indicative of the inherent violence of white people, because we didn't design this holiday. But their way of celebrating is to blow up stuff. You see, sounds like a war zone. Like, I may as well be in Vietnam or whatever. This is that. But that's how they celebrate. Blow things up. Violence. Everything is violence with these people. They're always trying to point the finger out from themselves and claims everybody else is a problem. Let's not be seduced by those lies. You understand? We know who the real savage on the earth is. And it's expressed in everything that they do and conjure. But I was saying that he's been sent out to say this. That, oh my God, it's what we're seeking is black supremacy, At the same time that the Orange Puff is saying that Black Lives Matter is a terrorist image or something that it's not, Again, imagining their own evil on something else and someone else, you see. Just like they claimed Obama was a socialist and he's a Muslim and he's a terrorist and he hates America and he's going to take your guns and he's going to raise your taxes, he's going to do all the evil shit. In 8 years, not a single scandal. But when they take office, it's white devilry as usual. Nothing is off limits. Nothing. He's admitted rapist even before he was even elected. Lies that you can check every single moment of the day for yourself. And he stands with a straight face and says it when everyone listening knows it's not the truth. But we don't see any white people storming the White House. I just wonder why. It's such a mystery. Oh, because they all agree. You understand? The shit is right in your face, everybody. There's no need to do any sleuth work here. It's there for the taking. So this is what they think. They don't want it to ever be a system of fairness, because when it does, we will automatically be supreme over their bitch asses because we're better than them. Period. We just are. And we've shown that. And they know it. Frustrate our progress at all cost. At all cost. Look for any of them that could be a leader and rise and quick take them out. Quick shut down their YouTube channel. Kill Malcolm. We'll say we love Martin, but we kill him too. The most violent savage on the earth. And one thing I did love also, one of the main things I love, quite frankly, when they were reading the names at one point on the BET Awards, and they started reading the names of murder victims by white police, I loved that they put Malcolm's name in there and Martin's name. You understand? Because our murders are state-sponsored, and so were theirs. That's what's real. That's why I say it's important to have this image of a black police officer on the neck of some white bitch begging for her life and saying she can't breathe. Since they claim they just have this unconscious biases and they just don't know shit that's evident and in their face that they conjure, which is another damn lie. I have to make that happen. I'm confident I can find somebody in a uniform. I just need to find a white bitch. You understand? Um, because what's glaringly obvious to anyone looking at it is we don't see any black people, any black police killing their white ass. And I don't know why. I don't know why. So we don't have a police problem. You understand? This is also why we know it's not, training and all the bullshit. Just happens every fucking video and every story that rolls out. Oh my God, just turns out yet a fucking again that it's another white devil killing somebody black. Because we saw what happened, I think it was in Michigan, where the white bitch, this black officer had reason to shoot her white ass. He's in jail now. And has been for some time now. Like almost immediately. So I'm not under any illusion. Folks can march and protest and beg and ask until their fucking shoes run out. The answer is, with any situation in your life, anybody fucking with you or causing you any strife, when you do unto them as they do unto you, they don't do the shit to you no more. It's very simple. It's very simple. It's very simple. Something else I wanted to touch on, and I guess I'll just do it in this piece, because I mentioned to you this show that's on TV, The Black Report, and they mentioned something in passing in one of the episodes. This, one of the dudes, he said, something like, I guess he was telling a story about something in his life, and he was saying, I'm always told that I sound like somebody or so-and-so, and that I talk white or something. And then one of the sisters said, as if, what does that mean? Nah, black people, let me snatch your ass back to center. Let me snatch you back to center. You understand? Yes, damn it, yes. There is such thing as sounding black. Period. It's a very simple equation. This is not rocket science, everybody. It's not even DNA. It's just the same. You're listening to a man who plays violin, who plays piano, who plays French horn, who also is a singer. But we'll just deal with my instrumental ability. Now, if you heard Dangerously in Love, you were in a store, and the music is playing overhead, you'd hear some music. And you go, oh wait, that's a violin. Once you recognize the instrument, if you did. And then you start realizing that you recognize the song they're playing. And you go, wait, that's somebody playing Dangerously in Love on a violin. Huh? Stay with me. When the Jedi speaks, you learn. Then now, you're somewhere else. And you hear, I don't know, something. Trying to think of a song that everybody would know. Just stick with Beyonce. Okay, let's move to Michael. Alright. All of a sudden you hear Billie Jean. But it's being played on a flute. It's still Billie Jean. You recognize the song. But you also recognize that is not Michael singing the song. That first, it's an instrumental. And it seems like that's a flute that's being played. Oh my God, it's Billie Jean being played on a flute. Lo and behold. Now, that's a parable everyone listening to me should be able to understand. Now let's move it along. So that this tacky bullshit they call English is not our mother tongue. It's not our mother tongue. And so, just like a mother knows the sound of her child when they're very young, when nobody else will recognize their voice or their scream except for a mother, you would recognize when your child was speaking. And if that's your sibling or a friend of yours, you heard them on the radio, go, that's so-and-so. Well, why is that so-and-so? You'd say, because I know their voice. Stay with me. You say, oh, I know so-and-so's voice. How many times have you been just in your house and, you know, your television is on or something, and you hear somebody's voice that's famous that you know who it is? And you go run to the TV, you go, that's so-and-so. And you run to the TV, and lo and behold, there they are. Oh my God, it is Wanda Sykes. You know Wanda's voice. I know that's Wanda Sykes. You go in there and look, yep, that's Wanda. No problems so far. No problems. No problems. If somebody else was on this video right now speaking and it was not the Jedi, you'd go, that's not the Jedi. They go, well, how come? It says his channel. It says right there. It says the Jedi. It says him. You go, no, I know the Jedi's voice. That's not him. I know what he sounds like. That's not him. That's not him. But all of a sudden, all of that goes out the window. The moment you try to proclaim or claim what? Individuality. More dangerously, Africanness. Oh my God. Well, we can't allow that. There's no such thing as sounding black. There just can't be. Because our white asses say so. Oh, yes, the fuck there is. Because you are an African vessel. And though we don't have our mother tongue as it relates to the language, we still have our intonation. You understand? Hear that? We still have our own intonation. Just like a French horn has its own sound, a flute has its own sound, a violin has its own sound, a piano has its own sound. You understand? A piccolo. We have our own sound because what? We are a different fucking instrument. Pay attention. Because this I'm over. Now, for the fucked up black folks under the sound of my voice, you know who you are. We have those amongst us who talk white. And I'm here to proclaim to you that there is a difference in being articulate and talking white. I will demonstrate. I, myself, am an articulate man. I understand that. You understand? But certain phraseology and things that I say and the way I say it, you go, that's I know that's a brother speaking right there. I just know it is. I know it. Now, as I'm speaking right now, I'm not rolling any letters. I'm not slurring anything. Everything I'm saying to you right now is proper grammar. I'm not cutting off the R's. I'm doing the TH's and everything else. That's what's called being articulate, everybody. Non-articulate, inarticulate would be what I was trying to say is that you could go down the street right there, Brown Hill, and then go out up there and around there. You heard me? That's not articulate. It's English, but it's not articulate. Hear me. It is not articulate. Now, there's a difference in talking white. white is, even outside of being articulate. Because you can be inarticulate and still be trying to talk white. But certainly, you only get this charge if you are talking proper grammar and then you try and add that white shit to it. I'll give you a sentence in articulate English, and then I'll give it to you white. Tomorrow, I'm going to the store to get eggs and milk, and I'm going to meet a friend of mine, and we're going to come back to my house and have lunch. Everybody understood what I said. That was articulate, spoken from a black vessel. I don't lose my blackness, and I use the language. Now, this is where you cross over and should be punched in the face, is when you turn white. This is talking white. I'm going to go to the store, and I'm going to get some eggs and some milk, and then I'm going to leave, and I'm going to meet a friend, and then we're going to go back to my house and have lunch. That should get your weave snatched out. You know what I'm saying? And your shape up pushed back. There is a difference in being articulate and talking white. We don't begrudge folks that speak articulately, but we give them a side eye if they suddenly go into that white lane. You understand? Because now you're trying to be white, you see. And we're not having this. We're not having it. And we've seen people who have tried, I have, tried to mask their own deception. They try to hide in the corner. What do I mean by this? They know they're trying to actually sound white, but they'll sit there and say, I'm always being accused of talking white, and just because I'm articulate, no bitch, you're talking white. You can separate the two. You can still be articulate, excuse me, you can still be articulate and sound like a black person. You don't need to go into Becky's lane and start sounding like some shit you are not. And one of my biggest pet peeves is if I can't close my eyes and know that I'm still listening to an African person, you have a problem. You just do. You just goddamn it do. That's a problem. We have our own instrument, everybody. This is another micro terrorism upon our people. One of the micro things they do, because they do it at all levels, certainly at the micro level. And this is down there. Try and suck the last bit of blackness out of you. Fuck that. Reject that out of hand and call it out. You know when somebody's trying to talk fucking white. And don't let them come back at you with, no, you're just saying that, you're saying I'm talking white just because I speak perfect English. No, bitch, you can speak perfect English and still sound like an African person. Why are you getting all Katie on me and shit? Nah, call it out for exactly what it is. Some bullshit, because that's what it is. It just is. It just is. There's a difference. What they really want is for you to sound exactly like their bitch ass and have no clue of what your instrument is. They're trying to, it's another washing out of everything that identifies you as an African. I've said to you, even reject this portrayal when you see slave movies where yes, the man knows the eyes are said it, sir. I'll be right there, sir. Fuck that. That didn't happen. Because you must remember, if we learned this tacky ass language, you learned it from their bitch ass. And if we were talking like that, it's because they fucking sounded like that. So either that was the case or it wasn't. Pick one. You understand? And my evidence for that is the divine. I've told you, give me a child born in 5 different countries now, and I'll show you 5 different children that speak 5 different languages. Period. You have your child here and immediately hand it over to some midwife chick, and she dashes from the hospital to a waiting helicopter, and she shuttles off to Provence, some damn place. And 5 years later, your kid comes back and he's speaking fucking something, Italian or Spanish. It wouldn't be a miracle. It would be natural. That's what he heard. That's what he do. You don't have to go out the country. You talk to somebody who's from New York. You know they're from New York. They don't sound like that because the air is different there. They sound like that because that's what they heard. When people were teaching them how to speak and what they heard around them, that's how they end up sounding like that. That's how they end up sounding like that. That's why you hear somebody from New York, you go, yep, they from New York. They from New York. Because you hear it. You hear it. And you know it. So don't let them wash out what could be the last fucking true identity you have, you know. And then you meet somebody like me who's lived all over the damn country, and I sound like some of everything. But damn it, I'm still an African. Still. And that shit will not be changing. So I had to address that. You know, put that to bed. Put that down. And have that as an answer the next time that you are someplace and somebody's having that discussion about people sounding white. You let them know there's a difference in sounding white and being articulate. You can be articulate and still maintain that you are a black person. I cite for you Michelle Obama. You understand? I could turn my back and she could walk into a room and start speaking. I go, that's a smart ass sister right there. Definitely articulate, but no doubt a sister. I hear her instrument. I know the instrument that's playing that music. I'm trying to tell you, this language is the music. You are the instrument. Understand that. Don't let anybody take your fucking voice. Damn it. And least of all, this white devil. I'm over it. Last thing I want to say is this to everybody, because this came to me in thought as I was watching Roland and Terry, and I was thinking, as I have before, but it really just came back around, really. And I challenge you now, name for me another culture that discusses their societal experiences out loud. You know, their family business and all of it. Or how they experience the society. Do we know any other culture that does this? Do we know what Asian people agree on and don't agree on, and what intercultural scrimmages go on between them? We don't. What about Arabs? Nope. Speaking for myself, we only found out in the last maybe 10 years that Latinos even had an issue with, you know, Puerto Rican, or your Chicano, or your Latino, or your what's the other, Hispanic, and like making the distinction. We didn't know how deep that went. I only have known that in the last maybe 10 years, I guess. So, you know, my point is made just to say that even this discussion that was happening between Roland and Terry, you know, it's just all of our what should be our most intimate and private conversations amongst each other is out there. We even have it with their white asses. You'll have somebody up on fucking MSNBC talking to, he would be up there on MSNBC telling Rachel Maddow the same shit he's telling Roland. Or Jay Tapper or the Chris Cuomo dude or something, as if it's like, does anybody else see how fucked up that is and how that's just completely out of place? Like, imagine now an Asian, somebody from China or Japan, with a thick accent, by the way, that would be important to this parable, sitting up there saying to, you know, one of these damn people all their personal shit about their culture. All of it. Or the Arab. Or, you know, just anybody. Somebody from India with the thick accent and all of it. We don't know anything about their shit. Because they keep their shit in culture. We need to start exercising that shit. So, while we need to know some of this as a people, we need to know about the Terry Cruzes amongst us, etc., etc. But I suggest there's a way to have these conversations and to expose people like that amongst our culture that everybody else is doing. Just we're the only ones running and living our lives out loud to the fucking enemy of our people. That's why we're the target of every damn advertisement in this fucking country. Is absolutely pairing up somebody white with somebody black. It's deliberate. This is the question they have to fucking answer. Why are you so obsessed with us? What's really going on? What's really going on? What's really going on? At the same time, you're in a climate where people, you live at a time when people are hollering, Oscar's so white, and they just played a clip of Viola Davis talking about pay us what you pay the Meryl Streeps of the world, and this and the third and all this, while these ads are running all fucking day on either side of anything she's going to say on television or anywhere else. So at the same time that we're supposed to be understanding, at the very least, that just even cite Hollywood, that it's not inclusive and all this and the nonsense, but then this is the other side of it. So those two things don't equal. That would mean we shouldn't see our bitch asses in every fucking commercial hugged up with them either then. And why do we? That's a problem. That's a problem as I see it. A problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Wow. Anyways, I'm going to get this out to you all, and God willing, I will try to hopefully execute a live stream tomorrow. Like I said, go and watch the link of this dumbass that I've put the link down underneath the video, and you can go and see the interview of him with Roland Martin. And I want you to really pay attention. You know, watch it, hear it, observe it. You understand? Not just what he's saying, how he's saying it. You understand? Like I say, he's all over the place. It's sporadic. He's just an empty vessel, dude. Like I just, there's nothing there. And it's just, I can tell that round the clock, 24 hours a day, he is saturated with this, we're all one, and, you know, I'm sure he's forced to be in white circles where he's trying to suck up to massa, and I tell black people all the time. That's what I tell black people all the time. That he's suddenly the default fucking spokesman for all black people, and acquiescing and giving up his ass, literally and figuratively, quite frankly. And he just lives in a very small world where he's forgotten who he was before he had a little bit of money and a white bitch. I just don't understand that. It just seems like, what they say is money doesn't make you who you are. It reveals who you are. So for whatever we're ever going to say about LL Cool J or Ice Cube or Snoop Dogg or some of these brothers, they've been with the same sister since before we even knew who they were. That's what's natural. You stay with what you know. What's natural and what's your own. You're never going to convince me. You don't get to have a woe is me story of growing up as a poor black child and then now suddenly you dancing on this we're all the same bullshit, because that's a contradiction of your very existence. Unless you want to tell me you put through some time warp and your brain was washed clean some kind of way. Because you only know what you know. So you don't just, ooh, poof, I'm over that now and I'm into something else. Nah. Nah. I'm over it. So, I'm just over these brand new Negroes that get them a white bitch and a little bit of money, and all of a sudden they're nothing like what you grew up or the environment you came from. There's nothing wrong with evolution, but evolution involves consistency as well, everybody. You put a damn cake in the oven, it doesn't just poof and it's there. It takes time to rise. I understand this. Indicating a process, a pathology to its ultimate fruition. So, therefore, you get a little bit of money and some fame, then if you was chasing females around your neighborhood before, you still chase females around your neighborhood still. You understand? Okay, so maybe you went to Harvard now and you've got a little bit of more, intelligence or whatever. And so maybe, the sister that you would have dealt with on the ratchet level, maybe you're trying to do something a little different with your life. And so, okay, I'm looking for more of the Michelle Obama type. But even that would still be a contradiction and cause you troubles in some way, because you're used to relating to sisters in a certain way. And now you relate to this Michelle Obama person the way you could relate to Keisha. No shade to Michelle Obama or Keisha. It's just that's just not consistent with what you have come through. So, nah. So what you do is you stay with Keisha. You send her ass to Harvard too. You feel me? Or you find you a Keisha at Harvard that also came from where you came from and made it to Harvard or wherever. I'm trying to just express a consistency, everybody, that this whole all of a sudden you changed up shit is like, I can't with it. And it's on purpose, because if it wasn't, then how come you're just not suddenly with men then? Oh, I'm over women. I'm poof, I'm with men now. That never happens. So this selecting the white bitch is on purpose. It's on purpose. And I always say, any brother that's trying to run from black women is because either you're not strong enough to be challenged by a woman, and B, and probably first, is you don't have a big penis at all. Period. The end. Period. Especially these brothers, you see them, they just can't seem to find a sister no kind of way. Just no kind of way. You understand? It's a problem. You know, and then for the Lonnie Loves of the world on the female side of it, you know, that want to start with this nonsense. What's about compatibility? Like that's why you chose a fucking white dude that looks like the Planet of the Apes, because this was compatible. And you're a woman with money now. That means you can go all over the damn earth. You can find you an African brother in Ethiopia if you really was looking, but you not. So don't try and sell me this cheap shit. Just admit you wanted a white dude because you decided that you're looking for something other than yourself, and you don't love yourself. Just tell me that, and I'll go away quietly and shut the hell up. But don't try and sell me this insignificant bullshit that won't fly on the damn wing of a damn fly. Nah. Just admit you sold your bitch ass out and just say it. Just tell it. I'm okay with that. Well, it's about compatibility, and you know, you date outside, just learn, date outside your race, as if the answer is outside of yourself. I'm so over it. And I'm so fucking tired of these goddamn fireworks too, so I'm gonna go, you guys, because I'm getting worked up now, because this is just, it's insane to me. Because, like I say, it's not even just that it's the 4th of July. It's ever since I moved here, there's fucking fireworks every fucking night. Every night. And I'm sure it's because I don't live in a white neighborhood. You understand? Because this wouldn't be... In fact, when I drive down the way that you have to go past the fucking... where, you know, the more to-do folks are. Big-ass signs. Fireworks illegal by the city ordinance and bullshit and all this bullshit. But we don't see none of that shit here. You understand? Because they don't give a fuck. But they're going to. They're going to. They're going to. Because I've had it with this shit. It's just that this fucking pandemic has prevented me from going to the city building and raising hell about it. Because they run quickly while they're bitching. They don't want to be hemmed up. They've definitely run away from their jobs. We're closed due to COVID. We're closed due to COVID. They'll tell you that in a heartbeat. Same bitch will be on 5 minutes later. We're just being cooped up. Nah, I'm over it. Anyways, and the other thing I don't like about this shit, you can't decipher firework from fucking gun. You know, the shit now, all of it sounds like guns to me now. All of it. All of it. Like, I don't hear no fucking fireworks. I just hear straight ass fucking bombs going off, and I'm over the shit. This is an outrage. You know. And one of my neighbors, I told you guys my neighbor Charles that lives across from me. I call him my uncle. You know, he's elderly. Okay, he's in pretty good shape, but this is still not good for nobody. I don't care how old you are. You know, this shit isn't good for a 16-year-old. Bombs fucking going off every half a second. You know, that does something to your everything. I'm over it. Anyways, go watch the link, everybody. I love you all. I'll see you soon.